Those weeks were some of the most depressing and the hardest weeks of my life. I had absolutely no idea that countries were paying for votes.
Whatever this woman is saying is the absolute truth.
Hi everyone, it's Adiola. Miss Grand International is a beauty pageant held in Thailand. Similar to Miss Universe, women from across the globe come to represent their country and showcase their culture in hopes of winning the title of queen and getting the crown. In 2024, the competition was held in Bangkok. You might have seen the videos of Miss Grand France, who went viral on social media platforms like Instagram for her bold stage presence. That year, for the first time in history, Miss India won the title of Miss Grand International. But recently, that all came crashing down. When it comes to pageants, we're used to seeing the glitz and glamour of luxury fashion, jewelry, hair, and makeup. But we rarely get to see the true reality of what happens behind the scenes. From company mistreatment to the shady business dealings funding these corporations, most of this is kept hidden. But Rachel Gupta, the Indian model and actress who won Miss Grand International, recently exposed it all, and what she shared is shocking. In May, Rachel announced that she was stepping down from her reign as Miss Grand International and returning her crown, resigning from the role due to mistreatment. She posted a statement on Instagram saying, "It is with deep regret that I share this news. I have made the decision to step down as Miss Grand International 2024 and return my crown. Being crowned was one of the most cherished dreams of my life, and I was filled with hope and pride to represent my country and make history. However, the months following my crowning have been marked by broken promises, mistreatment, and a toxic environment I can no longer endure in silence. This decision was not made lightly. In the coming days, I'll be releasing a full video sharing the details behind this difficult journey. I ask for your compassion, your open hearts, and your continued support as I take this next step. Your love means more than you know. With sincerity, Rachel Gupta." In the video, Rachel shared her story and exposed the alleged corruption and toxicity rampant within the organization. And Miss Grand Uganda, who competed in the 2022 pageant, came out to back her up. Fair warning, issues such as mental health and body shaming will be discussed. First, Rachel revealed that the countries were giving money to the organization to buy votes. Rachel did not have the capital to pay like others, which is why her vote count did not measure up to everyone else's. Miss Grand Uganda Oliver Nakakande said this happened during her competition year 2, with her sharing the rumored amount a winner paid for her votes.
I had absolutely no idea that countries were paying for votes. The Miss Grand International organization happily accepts them in the form of votes or in the form of, donations. Of course, when I found out, we couldn't afford to pay for the votes. We didn't have that knowledge, and it was so difficult to compete in terms of votes. You guys know, when I was in the personal interview, Nawat asked me, "Why do you not have votes?" And it's because I wasn't paying to buy votes like every other person was. National directors who don't know about it or who don't have access to those kinds of funds like me. Truly, the only reason I won, despite all of this voting and all of this that was happening, the only reason I won is because of the amount of public support I had. I think about it now and it still gives me goosebumps, the way people cheered for India and the way, if you asked anybody, they would say they were rooting for India. On social media and in Thailand, in real life, there was just so much support for me, and I'm so grateful for that, because that is truly the only reason that I won, honestly.
The paying for votes. Now this, because I was also a contestant, I firsthand experienced it. I had rumors I'm saying, that she or her family had invested over $250,000. $250,000, guys. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And honestly speaking, not everybody has that kind of money, but this is a business. We need to get this point straight. The president and the people who run that organization, Nawat, he's a businessman. He does not care about anything except money. That's it. He does not care about anything except money.
They put Rachel in a house an hour and a half away from the city. She had no phone and no car, so she was basically stuck in the house unless the organization decided they needed her for an event. She had to get herself a Thai phone to be able to communicate with her family. The organization didn't give her any food, nor did they have pots or pans in the house, leaving her to fend for herself when it came to nutrition. She's a vegetarian, so this made the situation even more difficult for her. Unfortunately, because the house they put her in was so far from everything, even when she would try to order food, the delivery drivers would oftentimes cancel on her because they didn't want to make the 2-hour drive from Bangkok.
They did not provide me any food at all. I requested them multiple times that, like, there's no pots and pans in the house. I can't cook. Like, I could maybe go and grocery shop and then cook for myself, but there were no pots and pans. There was nothing. So I said that, could we at least please, like I'm vegetarian, so it's very simple. Like, we could just make sure that the fridge is stocked with, fruits and just fruits, so I can like cut it and eat it, And my mom messaged them also that, she's all alone and can we just make sure there's some fruit in the fridge for her. They couldn't even do that. I had to order food on Grab, which is like their Uber Eats. I had to order food every single day. Okay, it would take 2 hours to come because it's so far away. All right, and how am I supposed to stay healthy or take care of myself when I can't like eat home cooked food or anything? And it was just so bad. Like, most days I would either end up eating whatever junk I had or I wouldn't order food because it's so far away that the drivers would end up canceling,
Of course, being stuck alone in the house all day with nothing but processed food to eat, it was hard for Rachel to stay in shape. She didn't have access to a gym, and she begged the organization for a yoga mat. It was one of the workers who ended up giving Rachel his own personal workout mat from his house. Staff would constantly body shame Rachel and tell her she had to lose weight, literally pinching the fat on her body as they did so.
And then at the same time, they were hounding me and like constantly just talking about my weight and my body all the time. I remember one time, like, they sent their representative to me and he just comes up to me and he starts pinching me in different places and he's like, oh, you need to lose weight here, you need to lose weight here. And like that, what am I supposed to say to that? Like that, it's so embarrassing and it makes you feel so small and so bad. And I understand, like, obviously I have to stay fit for the job, I have to stay in shape, but it's so difficult, like, when you don't have access to anything and you're just locked in a house basically all day long, like, what are you supposed to do? There were days at a time when nobody would message me from their team. They just kind of left me in that house. They just left me there. There were no events. They called me to Thailand. There were maybe 3 or 4 events. And I was there for a month. So what do you think I did? And like, everybody's asking me, why aren't you posting anything, Rachel? Why are there no updates from you? And I would just say, oh, I'm really bad at it, or I'm sorry, But the truth is, what should I post? What should I post? That I'm sitting here in the house, like, there's nobody to take pictures of me, there's nothing to do, I'm just sitting here, I'm depressed, there's like nothing to do, like, and nobody knew, and it was just a really, really, really difficult situation. I love Thailand, I love my Thai fans, but being there was so difficult for me.
With all of this going on, Rachel still had to go on the red carpet, smile for pictures, and pretend like everything was okay, even though it wasn't. She also said that the president of the organization, Nawat, never checked in on her and only cared about posing for cameras. Rachel asked if she could go home to India in between the few events to take care of herself since she wasn't doing anything else, but the organization refused. Of course, this took a major toll on Rachel's mental health.
After I won, those weeks were some of the most depressing and the hardest weeks of my life because I was working so much and there was just so much toxicity and negativity in that organization, and every day I would just get I would get more disillusioned.
Rachel also explained how the pageant's Stop the War campaign is all for show.
My name is Rachel Gupta, Miss Grand India 2024. As a representative of India, a nation built on the values of peace and non-violence, I stand firmly against war and all types of violence.
They don't actually allow the queens to do any real advocacy.
They use this whole stop the war and violence thing, but it's all fake. It's a facade. Like, I'm here, I'm ready to use my voice, I'm ready to work with an NGO, but they don't want to do that because it doesn't make money for them. And I've heard them say, like Nawat literally says, that this is useless, people don't care about it, it's not entertaining, and it doesn't make money, so we're not going to do it. I had plans when I was there. I wanted to go to charities, I wanted to visit a blind orphanage, and also, other like slum areas that I had worked in before, and they didn't let me. And they said that it's because like we don't have production team, blah blah blah. They made up reasons. Obviously they didn't want to because it's not paid. And I said, I don't need production team, like my day is free, I'll just go there and I'll be able to like bring some attention to the cause. And they said no, like you can't.
Can you imagine this is a person that is supposed to be championing stop the war and violence campaign, blah blah blah. This is all crap. It doesn't even exist. It is a big fat scam. It does not exist. It does not exist.
Rachel was also promised a monthly stipend up until the completion of her 1-year reign, which is when she would get the full prize money. But she only ever got the first month's stipend in November, leaving her without financial support from the organization despite working with them for 7 months. They also prevented her from doing work outside of the organization. To make things worse, every time Rachel complained about something, they would threaten to dethrone her.
And of course, the prize money was promised to me to be paid, like the monthly stipend and then the total amount at the end of my reign. But I just received the first stipend for the first month, and that's it. I never saw another penny after that, and so I had to handle, or my parents had to handle, all the expenses that came with it. And so every time I travel, like I have to take care of my own food. Of course, they do the flights and hotel, but if something is not done, like it's your responsibility to take care of it 100%. I had been queen for less than 2 months the first time they threatened to dethrone me. And they just use this thing of dethronement, of taking the crown away as blackmail. And they use it to manipulate me for everything. So like you can't bring up a single issue with them because they will just like say that we'll take your crown away. I'm so, I didn't think about the support when I posted this and resigned and gave up my crown. And I knew a lot of people would speak negatively about me, but I never expected that so many people would support me. And I'm so, so grateful. I can't say thank you enough, because if the response had been different, I don't know how I would handle it right now. And I want you to know that this decision I made to give the crown back did not come from a place of pain, but it came from a place of strength. I don't feel like I've lost anything. I feel like I've gained everything. I feel free for the first time in months. I feel free and I feel like I can breathe. And I've just been drowning for so long, and now I feel like I've come up for air. And I have my life back, and I'm so grateful for that. And no matter what happens, I hope that I've at least helped 1 or 2 people by sharing this and being honest with you today. Thank you so much for your love and support, and I love you so much.
After Rachel posted the video, Nawat fired back, claiming that she was actually terminated from her position.
We terminate you first, and then after that, like around half an hour, you will post after me. You not resign. I kick you out. You are not quality enough. You never beautiful from inside. She feeling like a boss. She order me. She order Teresa. She order everybody. Oh my God.
He also posted on his Instagram story that Rachel and her family got free plastic surgery in South Korea, and he insinuated she got her chest done without telling the organization. Regardless, none of this negates what Rachel had to say. I checked the plastic surgery hospital's page, and you can clearly see Rachel was there with the rest of the women from the Miss Grand International organization. The hospital is one of the pageant's sponsors.
Hi everyone, I'm here in my seat aboard Thai Airways and I'm ready to go to Korea. Thank you so much to Nana Hospital for inviting me and for inviting all of the team, and they're so excited to meet the wonderful sponsors who made this year's edition of MGI possible, and so excited to explore Korea and the culture as well. See you there!
Getting complimentary cosmetic work does not make up for everything else Rachel revealed. After this, Rachel stood her ground during a press conference in her home country.
My name is Rachel Gupta. I am from India. I won the title of Miss Grand International in October of 2024, becoming the first Indian in the world to do so. I've been working for this title for most of my adult life. It's been a very difficult and long journey, and when India won its first crown last year, the whole world celebrated together. It was my dream come true. But the months that followed were a nightmare. They're not what any girl should go through, let alone someone who is representing her country on an international level. After many months of enduring all of the difficulties I was put through by the Miss Grand International organization, a few days ago I decided to officially resign, step down from my title, and return the crown back to the organization. I would like to clarify that during my 7 months as queen, I fulfilled every single obligation made to me by the Miss Grand International organization. I was there for every event, every requirement was fulfilled, and I never let go of a single responsibility. I understand that when you're in such a position, you need to maintain your physique, you need to maintain a certain thing that's in the contract, right? I'm not allowed to go above a certain weight or below a certain weight, but there is a way to handle that as well. They used to send their representatives to come to me to pinch different parts of my body. You need to lose weight here. You need to lose weight there. This is looking a little bit fat. You're not looking good here. You need to change your body shape. They routinely encourage and actually in some cases even mandate plastic surgery for certain girls. There is a need for justice over here. I don't want to see them have the right to treat another woman like this in the future. But since we are in different countries, it makes the legal system, the legal approach very complicated. But I definitely chose to speak up for this reason because I want women to know the truth about what happens when they join this organization. I understand this might not be everyone's experience, but this was mine. And I've seen it happen to other women, and no one deserves to go through this. And it wasn't an easy decision, but I can honestly say that I'm proud of myself for standing up here because a lot of people wouldn't be able to. A lot of people would not have the strength to do this.
Nawat then responded in a press conference saying, she might not be so black and messy, she might just be delirious, and no one wants her because her armpits stink. That's right.
เขาคงไม่น่ามืดไปวุ่นวายคงจะละเมอแล้วก็ไม่มีใครเขาอยากได้แบบนั้นหรอกครับเพราะว่ารักแร้น้องเหม็นมากจริงครับ she really smell armpit a lot กลิ่นมาเลยจริง
Personally, I'm glad Rachel spoke out and shared her story so other women and girls who have hopes of joining this industry can know the reality and be prepared for what they might face. So many women see the glamorous side of pageants and pursue that path, having no idea what they're really getting themselves into. Rachel was very brave to stand up in the face of a multi-million-dollar company, especially while in a foreign land. Make sure to subscribe and leave your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys soon.